Play ball sports fans, welcome back into a new episode of the Leaderboard here on WTOL 11+. I'm Tyler Segerman.
And I'm Noelle Blumel. Football season is in full gear, playoff baseball is here, and soccer action is heating up on the pitch all over the area. Plus a pair of features on local athletes, one who coaches NFL players right now, and one who's hoping to get there one day.
Yeah, from years of heartbreak to a perfect start, Woodmore football is 5-0 for the first time in more than 2 decades, and we meet a major part of their success. And speaking of undefeated teams, we catch up with North Baltimore, who has a perfect season of their own going on right now.
He played in the Glass City on Friday nights, and now he stands on the sidelines on NFL Sundays. Jordan Kovacs is now on football's biggest stage, but it all started right here. And on Chasing the Game, we sit down with one of the top volleyball coaches in the area.
And it's baseball playoff time. We're talking about local teams on the biggest stage, on the biggest stage, plus our poll of the week, parent shout out, and more. So let's get it started.
When you think of high school football success stories, few are as dramatic as what's happened at Woodmore High School. After years of losing seasons, the Wildcats started 5-0 for the first time in over 2 decades, and one player has been at the center of it all. At Woodmore High School, football season has a different feel this fall. For the first time since 2001, the Wildcats are undefeated through 5 games.
It's kind of all melding like a, perfect storm right now. So we just keep everybody healthy and rolling along. I think we'll be in good shape.
But they're not just winning. They're dominating. Woodmore has outscored opponents by an average of 44 points per game. And at the heart of it all is number 9. Landon Rich. The senior running back is rewriting record books and the story of this program.
Super high standards for himself, wants to go to the next level, but also makes a point of being a teacher, a sportsman, and helping the young kids, being a good a student of the game as well as far as film work, so just everything.
Rich is on pace to break the school's single-season touchdown record, just 1 year after smashing the all-time rushing record with over 1,800 yards. But talk to Landon, and it's never about the stats, it's about the team and how far they've come.
We got a lot of guys here that work, just very, very hard, so it's just good to have just a win because it's been hard here. Like my first 2 years, we had to combine 3 wins, and now, so it's just, it's just a great feeling.
Although now 5-0, the Wildcats face their toughest test yet on Friday against Margaretta.
And it's a good measuring stick for us where we're going, because this second half of the season for us is a meat grinder. So we just got to take it one game at a time, and we'll see what happens Friday.
The first half, it matters, a lot just to get us going, but then like second half, it's very important. We got a lot of good guys that we're going to be up against, so I'm just very excited for that.
Whether it's breaking records or breaking tackles, Landon Rich is making sure Woodmore's future stays wealthy in wins and rich in effort.
I think it's great, but I don't think he's worried about it. It's the W's right now, and it's the camaraderie with the teammates and sharing it with everybody else, so I think that's what sets him apart.
Well, from one unbeaten to another, North Baltimore, Greg Bishop decided to return to his old school, but admitted there stood potential, but didn't really know what. Well, how about perfection? 6-0 are the Tigers for the first time since 1995. And although excitement is evident, this program continues to move forward with a businesslike approach.
Okay, so make sure we're thinking that through. All right, hey, as we come out, the community, the kids, they deserve this.
Tigers on 3, 1, 2, 3, Tigers!
It's been a lot different going around town and stuff and seeing how much our culture's changed.
Prior to the start of this campaign, North Baltimore football had experienced 7 straight losing seasons. So far in 2025, they have yet to lose, period.
They'll congratulate us and want us to keep doing good. And I see Facebook, a bunch of people posting stuff.
Ever since I started playing football in, like 3rd, 4th grade, all we've done is lose. We've had this might be our first winning season since then. And it's a great feeling, It's very rewarding.
Good, good.
An up-tempo, spread offense has led to this team outscoring opponents by an average of 37 points per game. And it's also great to play in as well.
That's super fun. We get teams on their heels, and we just perform.
That also helps with our run game, being able to pass and keep it moving, keep it quick. Defenses aren't ready for it. It's great.
For 30 years, this community has been waiting for a moment like this. And while the story continues to be written, Signs point to how special this run has become. Like special teams, when last week Gabe Patterson took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. The first return for a score North Baltimore has had all season.
It just set the tone right away. It's sweet. We haven't had one all year, and last year when we played them, that's what they did to us, so it was perfect.
North Baltimore for the longest time, especially North Baltimore football, has always kind of flew under the radar, not much attention, so this community deserves it. Our kids deserve it.
Now the Tigers will aim to make it 7-0 when they travel to Ridgedale on Friday. What such a great story, Noel, to see a team who hasn't had much success. 30 years it has been since their last league title. Can you believe that?
They're due, and it's fun to see, especially alumni come back and pour into the community that shaped them as a coach in later years. A lot of times they need that. They need their own born-bred people who have been a product of their program to have that, next level, firsthand, genuine care for the team and program. Yeah,
and shout out to Woodmore too, because obviously, we highlighted their athlete of the week. They lost obviously to Margaretta in shutout fashion, but I mean, both programs haven't had success in over 2 decades, really. So to see both those programs seeing the benefits of their hard work and seeing them generate some wins this season is certainly special, and obviously it's what makes high school football this season extra special, to see other communities who are normally in the limelight get that spotlight and succeed in that.
And heading into week 7, obviously, there's always time to bounce back.
Yep, that's right.
I don't care if I'm undrafted. Again, just let me get my foot in the door. Let me get out on the field, and I can do this.
He wasn't a 5-star recruit. Jordan Kovacs walked on at Michigan and walked out a captain. Now the Clay High School grad is climbing NFL sidelines. His journey from Toledo kid to Bengals coach. Next on the Leaderboard.
Welcome back. He grew up in Oregon, played football at Clay, and then went on to live out a dream at the University of Michigan. Jordan Kovac's story isn't about 5-star recruiting. It's about grit, belief, and proving people wrong over and over again. Dan Cummins and Jamison Turbrack bring us the story.
My dad, he played football at the University of Michigan. He walked on under Bo Schembechler in the early 80s. So I just grew up, a diehard Michigan fan. And I had an older brother. I have an older brother. So we just grew up just throwing the football around in the backyard, just playing pickup football games my whole childhood. So I definitely grew up obsessed with football.
Clay, he played both sides of the ball, but knew defense was always where his heart was at.
To me, I was like, I like the physicality of the game. I liked, I grew up idolizing Charles Woodson. I loved defense.
When it came time for college, the University of Michigan didn't offer Jordan a scholarship. Kovacs got in through academics and earned a shot at a student body tryout.
I always wanted to go play football at the University of Michigan. Toledo offered a preferred walk-on opportunity, and then Michigan admissions got me in late and just basically said, hey, we've seen your tape. You can enroll at the university, but you've got to come try out on the first day of school, 6 a.m. And that's what I did. There was 80 kids or so that tried out, and they just kind of put us through the gauntlet of circuits and drills, just trying to get a feel for who the athletes are, and I made that tryout. I failed the physical. That was just a couple of days later. So they found a torn meniscus. Basically I was told, hey, you can't be a part of the team. If you want, you can come try out again in February after the season. So, okay, what's the next step? And that is, let's get this thing cleaned up. Let's, be a good student right now, and then come the spring, I'm going to try out again and I'm going to make the team, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
By his senior year, that long shot walk-on was a Michigan captain and team MVP.
That's one of the greatest honors you can have, is just to be recognized as a captain from your teammates. So that was certainly a really special moment for me. I think that was just kind of recognition or just my peers recognizing me for a lot of the hard work and the adversity that I had to overcome and go through. And I think that it was just a lot of respect there.
He says throughout his time in the Maize and Blue, a few games stand out from the rest.
When you look back on your career, there's a lot of fun games. I would say the Notre Dame game under the lights was unbelievable in 2011. I would say the same thing about the Ohio State game my junior year. Just beating those guys for the first time in years was awesome.
When the NFL came calling, his underdog story kept rolling.
I don't care if I'm undrafted. Again, just let me get my foot in the door. Let me get out on the field, and I can do this. And that was always my mindset.
He landed with the Miami Dolphins and says one memory sticks with him more than others.
I had a fun Thursday night game, coincidentally, against the Cincinnati Bengals. So my rookie year, we played them Thursday night on Halloween in Miami, and we won the game on a walk-off sack by Cam Wake. Big wins like that are always fun. Just the locker room after a big win, like you can't beat it, man. Juice, hype. I mean, it's fun.
After his playing days, he swapped his helmet for a headset. Jim Harbaugh brought him back to Michigan to begin his coaching journey.
But I was really eager. I knew I wanted to coach. I had a great relationship with Coach Harbaugh, and so come the end of 2016, when I wasn't on a team, I immediately reached out to Coach. So I got to start with the grunt work and coaching, and that was invaluable experience.
That climb has taken him all the way to the NFL sidelines. Today, Jordan Kovacs is secondary coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. There, he's known as one of the fastest rising coaches in the league. And as successful as he is, he never forgets his Glass City roots.
My wife, Kat, she went to Clay High School with me, so we've been together for a long time. So since 2006, that makes me feel old. We've got a little boy named Lou. He turns 2 in December. We've got another boy on the way in February. So we make it back there quite a bit. My parents still live in Curtis, Ohio, off Corduroy Road. So we make it back there a few times a year. And that's one of the, we've been really fortunate because I could have ended up on a lot of different NFL teams, but to be within striking distance of my parents and home has been awesome. But I miss it. I do miss Toledo. It's such a great city, man. Just blue collar, just gritty people, tough people. I miss it.
So from Clay High School to captain at Michigan to the NFL, he's now coaching the Bengals secondary. Jordan Kovac's journey is one of belief and persistence. No matter where football takes him next, he says Toledo will always be home. And Noel, just another example of how sometimes underdogs get a chance and they prove people wrong.
And Tyler, I just watched Rudy for the first time, so it only feels right to go, Jordan, Jordan. That's so great, especially to have it come full circle. Now he's coaching the Bengals, the team he made his NFL debut against. I mean, the stories really write themselves sometimes, so really cool to see that, and a good message for the people coming up underneath. It's especially great for kids, students, athletes to see their coaches who had the odds stacked against them, to see themselves in that coach if, they are an underdog themselves, to know, hey, you put the work in, good things can happen.
Absolutely. It was cool to see him, too, because he was just in Detroit, because the Bengals obviously were playing the Lions as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fun to see there. Well, Anthony Wayne volleyball is in another golden era, but for one coach, the pride of being a general goes back much further. She helped lead Anthony Wayne to league titles and even went on to play at the Division I level. Now she's giving back to the next generation. This week on Chasing the Game, we sat down with Chrissy Graven.
For you, when you were growing up, you guys obviously had some great Anthony Wayne teams. Your hometown, Anthony Wayne, born and raised. What was that like, kind of being a part? Those years. This is kind of another golden age for Anthony Wayne volleyball. Yeah. What was it like for you when you guys? I think you won 4 straight NLL championships.
3, my sophomore, junior, senior year, we did. Yes, we had a really great class, just male and female, that year, but. I think that was part of the reason why I enjoyed so much coming back and coaching on staff, was because I had a great experience playing sports at Anthony Wayne, and part of my goal as coaching now is to give that same experience to our players in the program and make it better. So there's definitely a lot of pride there.
Yeah, you were a part of that 2003 state softball team that won the championship. Yeah. What do you think you were better at in high school, volleyball or softball?
I asked my husband, he would say softball, but volleyball was always I just loved playing volleyball. So
it's so funny. When I have 2 sport athletes in here and we ask them what sport they're at, they always seem to perform better in one, but they'll say the other is their favorite.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just funny how it works sometimes. You obviously went on to BGSU. You played volleyball there under Denise Van de Waal, all-time, winningest coach in MAC history. Yeah. What was it like those years, playing at the D1 college level? Yeah, probably, I'm sure, learned a lot.
Freshman year was the hardest year, the transition, from being in high school and with your parents and then on your own, and being pushed beyond any level that you could ever imagine. In the weight room specifically, you're just pushed to another level. But I would say I was very grateful to be surrounded by teammates that are now my best friends, that were my bridesmaids in my wedding, and so we keep in touch, and just very fortunate to have a class like that to go through. Playing college when you're pushed to the max, and stressed, and to be surrounded with girls that were friends today is irreplaceable.
Yeah, is Vanderwall probably the most, coaching, is the most of your coaching DNA kind of from her, or is it from other people? Like, do you kind of see yourself kind of emulating her?
Good question. I think I try to emulate bits and pieces of a lot of different coaches. I feel like you learn good things from some coaches and things maybe not to do from other coaches. So I feel like I've just evolved from, coaching with certain coaches at TVC or, at Anthony Wayne specifically as well. But I think you can always grow and improve and develop into the kind of coach that you really want to be. And I'll give Lori Williams, our girls soccer coach, a shout out. I think I try to emulate a lot of what she does with the girls soccer program and how she coaches and trains. And I think that's okay to kind of steal best practices from coaches that you've been around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lori Williams is not a bad person to emulate in terms of if you want to have a winning program at Anthony Wayne.
Well, October is here, and that means postseason baseball from the Guardians to the Reds to the Tigers. Fans across Ohio and Michigan are fired up. We'll show you how the magic of October stretches all the way to Toledo.
Well, October is here, and that could mean a few things. It's my birthday soon, but more importantly, postseason baseball is back. The regular season grind is over, and now every pitch, every swing, and every out carries the weight of a season. The games stretch from day to night, and fan bases live and die with every single play. Playoff baseball has a magic all of its own, and it's finally here. Reds relief pitcher Brad Suter summed it all up this week.
We did it! We can't kill the Reds! You can't kill the Reds! We're in it! Let's go! Let's go!
That's great. That is gold right there. Here in Ohio, the baseball fandom is pretty diverse. The Tigers are the closest major league team to us here in Toledo, but that doesn't mean the city isn't full of Guardians and Reds fans too. Even our WTOL crew is split into different fandoms, but one thing is for sure. We'll continue to bring you the latest action all playoffs long right here on the Leaderboard. Tyler, what could make you that fired up? Because I didn't even see that post-game interview, that post-clinch interview. That was gold right there. That was pretty awesome. That just shows you how unexpected that run came for them. I mean, the Reds were not picked at all to finish anywhere near the playoffs, and their grit. I mean, there was a stat sheet that I saw on X. I still call it Twitter. But anyway, point is, all of their stats basically were below where any playoff team had ever been before, so they weren't supposed to be in the postseason, and yet here Cincinnati is, playing the LA Dodgers, in the AL NL wildcard series. So it's just a magical run, but that emotion, obviously the grind of a 162-game season paying off to get to play some extra games, that's where it comes from, at least from my perspective. Showing up when it matters, and the Guardians too. What was it, 15 and a half back in July, 10 and a half September 1st, and then they go on to clinch the division. They got some help, but yes, I get your point. But they had to stay up, kind of turn the narrative, and this week obviously winning game 2, forcing a game 3. Stephen Vogt even said after they went down in game 1, our backs have been against the wall all season long. What's one more day? And here they are forcing a game 3 with the potential to go to the division series. It's pretty cool. And honestly, I don't think much of what happened in regular season factors in once you get that playoff spot. Yeah, it's all clean. It's all even slate once you get to the postseason. Yep, for sure. Well, pivoting to our leaderboard poll of the week. Last week we asked you, what is your game day outfit? Your options were head to toe in team gear, just the team jersey, casual but team colors, or just whatever you're wearing that day. Well, the results are in with casual but team colors winning the vote with more than 33%. In second, just behind, was sporting a team jersey. Third was whatever I'm wearing today, with head to toe in team gear coming in last place. So let's bring back Noelle, our fashionista, so to speak. And Noelle, your thoughts on both the results and your preference? Well, I'm surprised head to toe gear was second to last. Is that what it was? It came in third? I might have been last, actually. I think it's, last. Oh, it's that last. One came in last. I'm surprised. I thought there would be more people, more passionate. I guess it doesn't define your passion for each team. I am with the majority casual but team colors. I like to sport a hat with the logo on it too. I guess at the end of the day it just depends how loud you cheer. That proves your passion for the team, not necessarily what you're wearing. But what's your go-to?
So I'm kind of the same way. I like the jersey. I have a lot of jerseys at home, so I like to sport the jersey when I can. But I'm more of a team colors, casual type of guy. I can't pull off the whole full body suit of team gear or anything like sporadic or anything like that. But I'm not too surprised at the result personally, because you see those people at games. Obviously, we've been to Detroit, we've been to Cleveland, other big cities for big time games. There's those fans, but there's not a huge number of them.
That's true.
Not many people, because that's why they stick out. We see them because they stick out, because there's not many doing it. And so obviously, very passionate, very dedicated for those fans. But obviously the overwhelming popularity is to just show up in a jersey or
it's a great point you make, because for me, you're right, it's not the majority, but I feel like it's the majority because they're the ones who are photobombing me in the middle of a live shot. So of course they're the only ones I see, so I figure that they're the ones that are the vast majority. But either way, it's all fun and games.
Exactly.
And,
fandom is what makes sports great, and if whatever you want to do, it's completely okay, because you're a part of what makes sports awesome.
Exactly. Well, for next week's Leaderboard Poll of the Week, we want to know, what do you love most about postseason baseball? Is it watching games all day long, the October atmosphere, bragging rights over rivals, or betting on the games? To vote, simply scan the QR code on your screen right now or head to WTOL.com and head to the sports section. As always, we'll be back here next week to break down the results. We'll be right back. Now it's time for our parent athlete shout out of the week.
Yeah, this week our star is on the pitch. Meet 10-year-old Emma from Walbridge.
We're told Emma is a joy to watch on and off the field. Her mom says she gives her all in every game and never stops working hard.
But what makes Emma truly special is her constant encouragement of teammates. Always lifting them up with a smile and endless energy. Her love for soccer, determination, and positive spirit make her someone who stands out.
We can't wait to see how far Emma will go in soccer. So congratulations to you, Emma, on being our parent shout out of the week. I always love to hear that players are selfless.
Especially that young. Yeah.
That young, having that. I was a libero in volleyball my whole life. You don't score offensive points. You're not really the point driver or the kill person. You can get aces, but majority of the time you're setting up your other teammates. So I love it. I was always so hype, as if more so than for myself, if I would get an ace for my teammates who I was able to help set up for a point. I think that's a great quality to not only have on the court, on the field, but you take it with you in life and it'll get you pretty far.
Absolutely. We saw, obviously, seen the video of her scoring, I believe, there. And glad to get some soccer love, too. Obviously, everyone's sitting off. All these kids are playing so many different sports now. To see soccer here this week is so awesome. And obviously, Emma, keep it up. We look forward to maybe seeing you on on our coverage one day in high school. So we'll see. Well, do you have a young athlete in your life? We want you to show them off just like Emma's parents did. Whether you're a parent, grandparent, or just the biggest fan on the sidelines, we want to see your favorite youth sports moments. So send in your best photos and videos. Your submissions could be featured in WTOL 11 Sports specials and across our social media platforms.
All you do is text us your highlights and be sure to include your name, your star's name, and a hometown. That number is 419-248-1100, or you can email us at sports@WTOL.com.
Well, that's going to do it for another episode of the Leaderboard here on WTOL 11 Plus. I'm Tyler Segerman.
And I'm Noelle Blumel. And for our entire WTOL 11 Leaderboard team, we'll see you next game.